Oh dear.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Mori Hill 40098 for now for the last 3/4 of an hour, and the line is always busy, but I don't see how it could be busy that long. Will you try it for me, please?
Murray Hill 40098. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all the time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight and I'm alone here in the house. My health is very poor and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098. Hello.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, George. Yes, sir.
Hello? Who's this? What number am I calling, please?
We have heard from our client. He says the coast is clear for tonight. Where are you now?
In phone booth.
Okay, you know the address. At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Be sure that all the lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible from the street. At 11:15, a subway train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello. What number is this, please?
Okay, I understand. Make it quick, as little blood as possible. Our client does not wish to make her suffer long. A knife, okay, sir. Yes, a knife will be okay. And remember, remove the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. Our client wishes it to look like simple robbery. Okay, I get.
Oh, how awful. How unspeakably.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
I'm sorry, madam. What number were you calling?
Why? It was supposed to be Mori Hill 40098, but it wasn't. Some words must have crossed. I was cut into a wrong number and I've just heard the most dreadful thing, a murder and...
I am sorry. What number were you calling?
Can't you for once forget what number I was calling and do something specific? Now, I want to trace that call. It's my civic duty. It's your civic duty to trace that call and to apprehend those dangerous killers. And if you won't,
I will connect you with the chief operator.
please.
Is the chief operator.
Chief operator, I want you to trace a telephone call, immediately. I don't know where it came from or who was making it, but it's absolutely necessary that it be tracked down, because it was about a murder. Yes, a terrible cold-blooded murder of a poor innocent woman tonight at 11:15.
I see.
Can you trace it for me? Can you track down those men?
It depends, madam.
Depends on what?
It depends on whether the call is still going on. If it's a live call, we can trace it on the equipment. If it's been disconnected, we can't.
Disconnected.
If the parties stop talking to each other.
Oh, but of course, they must have stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago, and they didn't sound like the type who would make a long call.
Well, I can try tracing it. Now, what is your name, madam?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson. But listen,
And your telephone number?
Plaza 42295. But if you go on misting all this time,
And what is your reason for wanting this call trace?
my reason? Well, for heaven's sake, isn't it obvious? I overheard two men, they're killers. They're planning to murder this woman. It's a matter for the police.
Have you told the police?
No, how could I?
You're making this check into a private call purely as a private individual.
Yes, but meanwhile,
Well, Mrs. Stevenson, I seriously doubt whether we could make this check for you. At this time, just on your say so as a private individual, we'd have to have something more official.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you mean to tell me I can't report a murder without getting tied up in all this red tape? Why, it's perfectly idiotic. Alright, then I will call the police. Ridiculous.
Your call, please.
Police department, please. Ringing the police department.
Police Department, Present 43. Duffy speaking.
Police department. Oh, this is Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Smith Stevenson of 53 North Sultan Place. I'm calling to report a murder.
A.
I mean, the murder hasn't been committed yet. I just overheard the plans for it over the telephone, over wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everybody is so stupid, and I guess in the end you're the only people who could do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman on the street. He was going to go around for a beer on a Second Avenue. And there was some third man, a client, who was playing to have this poor woman murdered. They were going to take her rings and bracelets and use a knife. Well, it's unnerved me dreadfully, and I'm not well.
A. When was all this, ma'am?
About 8 minutes ago. Oh, that you can do something? You do understand.
And what is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson,
And your address?
53 North Sutton Place. That's near a bridge, the Queensboro Bridge. You know, and we have a private patrolman on our street on 2nd Avenue.
And what was that number you were calling?
Maury Hill 40098, but that wasn't the number I overheard. I mean, Maury Hill 40098 is my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I was trying to reach him to ask him to come home. I'm an invalid, you know, and it's the maid's night off. And I had to be alone, even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have the telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Mrs. Stevenson, and see if we can check it with the telephone company.
But the telephone company said they couldn't check the call if the parties had stopped talking. I've been taking care of that.
Oh, yes.
Personally, I feel you ought to do something far more immediate and drastic than just check the call. What good does checking the call do if they stop talking? By the time you track it down, they'll already have committed the murder.
Well, take care of it. Lady, don't worry. Don't worry.
I'd say the whole thing called for a research, a complete and thorough research of the whole city. I'm very near a bridge, and I'm not far from 2nd Avenue, and I know I'd feel a whole lot better if you sent a radio car to this neighborhood at once.
And what makes you think the murder's going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
Oh, I don't know. This is coincidence is so horrible. 2nd Avenue, the patrolman, the bridge.
Second Avenue is a long street, ma'am. And do you happen to know how many bridges there are in the city of New York alone? Not to mention Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx. And how do you know there's isn't some little house out on Staten Island, on some little Second Avenue you've never heard about? How do you know they were even talking about New York at all?
But I heard the call on the New York dialing system. Oh, idiot. Now, why did I do that? Now he'll think I am a fool. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he?
Your call, please.
Operator, For heaven's sake, will you ring that Maury Hill 40098 again? I can't think that what's keeping him so long.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098. The line is busy.
I can't hear it. You don't have to tell me. I know it's busy. If I could only get out of this bed for a little while. If I could get a breath of fresh air or just lean out the window and see the street. Hello, Albert? Hello, 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 hello. Oh, what's the matter with this phone? Hello? 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 Oh, for heaven's sake, who's this? Hello? Hello? Hello?
You call please.
Hello? Operator, I don't know what's the matter with this telephone tonight, but it's positively driving me crazy. I've never seen such inefficient, miserable service. Now, look, I'm an invalid, and I'm very nervous, and I'm not supposed to be annoyed, but if this keeps on much longer,
What seems to be the trouble, madam?
well, everything's wrong. The whole world could be murdered for all you are care. And now my phone keeps ringing.
Yes, madam.
Ringing and ringing and ringing every 5 seconds or so, and when I pick it up, there's no one there.
I'm sorry, madam. If you will hand up, I will test it for you. I am afraid that is not possible, madam.
Not possible? And why? May I ask?
The system is automatic, madam. If you someone is try to dial your number, there is no way to check whether the call is coming through the system or not unless the person who is trying to reach you compliance to his particular operator.
Well, of all of the stupid, complicated, and meanwhile, I've got to sit here in my bed, suffering every time that phone rings, imagining everything.
I will try to check it for you, madam.
Check it. That's all anybody can do. Of all the stupid, idiotic. Oh, what's the use? Hello? Hello? Stop ringing. Do you hear me? Answer me. What do you want? Do you realize you're driving me crazy? Start staring.
Hello, is this Plaza 42295?
Yes, yes. This is Plaza 42295.
This is Western Union. I have a telegram here for Mrs. Albert Stevenson. Is there onion there to receive the message?
I am Miss Stevenson.
The telegram is as follow. Mr. Albert Stevenson, 53 North Station Place, New York. New York, darling. Delivery sorry. Tried to get for last hour, but line busy. Leaving for Boston 11 p.m. tonight on urgent business. Back tomorrow afternoon. Keep happy. Love, signed Albert.
Oh no.
That's all, madam. Do you wish us to deliver a copy for a message?
No, no, thanks.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night. No, no, isn't true. He couldn't do it. Not when he knows I'll be all alone. It's some trick, some fiendish.
Your call, please.
He's gone. Oh, Albert, how could you? How could you? But I can't be alone tonight. I can't. If I'm alone one more second, I don't care what he says or what the expenses is. I'm a sick woman. I'm entitled.
This is information.
The telephone number of Henchley Hospital.
Ashley Hospital, do you have the address, madam?
No, it's somewhere in the 70s, though it's a very small, private, and exclusive hospital where I had my appendix out 2 years ago. Henchley, Henc.
1 moment, please.
Please hurry, and please, what is the time?
I do not know, madam. You may find out the time by dialing Meridian 7 12 12.
Oh, for heaven's sake, couldn't you?
The number of Hinsley Hospital is Butterfield 70105, madam.
Butterfield 70105.
Henchley Hospital, good evening.
Nurses Registry.
Who was it you wish to speak to, please?
I want the nurses registry at once. I want a trained nurse. I want to hire her immediately for the night.
I see. And what is the nature of case, madam?
Nervous. I'm very nervous. I need soothing and companionship. My husband is away and I'm...
Have you been recommended to us by any doctor in a particular, madam?
No, but I really don't see why all this catching is necessary. I want a trained nurse. I was a patient in your hospital 2 years ago, and after all, I do expect to pay this person.
We quite understand that, madam. But registered nurses are very scared just now, and our superintendent has asked to send people out only on case wherein the physician in charge feels it is obviously necessary.
Well, it is absolutely necessary. I'm a sick woman. I'm very upset. Very. I'm alone in this house and I'm an invalid and tonight I...